Well, here I've got two patios. Now, the place I'm in now is two bedroom, two bath. The location is perfect. I mean, it's right in, I'm 4 blocks from Central Park, but it's older, it's smaller. I've got a small patio downstairs, a large patio upstairs that kind of overlooks, the whole street and overlooks, the neighbors.
Yeah.
I've got that all decked out with lights, white Christmas lights
Yeah.
around, so it's a place to hang out at night. And I'm paying about 375 here.
Could I ask you a quick favor? Adventure Freaks is growing, but over 80% of you watching right now aren't subscribed yet. If you love tips on affordable living and retiring abroad, hit that subscribe button. It's free and it really helps us grow. All right. So today we are heading down to this amazing country in Central America with my buddy Scott Moore. We're heading to Guatemala today. Scott, good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
How
Happy
you
New
been
Year.
doing?
I've been doing great.
All right. So yeah, this is our second podcast. You're still down there. You're still living in this beautiful part of Guatemala. I'm going to let you share with the people where it is. And last time we talked, you were living in a different place, so we'll get into that too. But let's give the viewers a little bit of backstory about who you are, where you're from, and why you left America for Central America.
Okay, sounds great. So I grew up in the U.S., lived in a lot of different states, but the majority of those years in Florida. And in Sarasota and Naples, I was always kind of over on the West Coast and grew up on a little island called Siesta Key that's right in the Gulf.
Hmm.
Um, but met my wife in Costa Rica, who's originally from Nicaragua.
Okay.
And so travel has always been something that we loved. And so we did live in Costa Rica back in the 90s.
Yeah.
And so when I looked back, right before I was getting ready to retire, and I looked back, all of my fondest memories were about travel. So the game plan was kind of, we're going to maybe start in Mexico. We're going to retire, start in Mexico, take 5 or 6 years, and just kind of slowly work our way down to the bottom of Argentina.
Ooh.
And then we'll kind of just decide where we want to live. And it didn't work out that way exactly. Life changes, but my wife said, "Well, hey, instead of starting in Mexico, how about if we start in Nicaragua? Because it's my mom's about to have her 90th birthday. I'd like to be there, spend some time with family." And so we started in Nicaragua.
Okay.
And so 2023, yeah, I'm losing track of the years. 2023, we were in Nicaragua in a city called Matagalpa. And afterwards, the next stop was Quetzaltenango, which I knew a lot about Antigua and Lake Atitlan, the two big places for
Yes.
expats and tourists here.
Yep.
But there was very little information about Quetzaltenango, which is it's the second largest city in Guatemala, roughly 1 million people in Quetzaltenango and the surrounding areas. It's got three big modern malls. We've got a Walmart. I mean, so all the things that you might want are here.
Hmm.
It's about 2,700 meters in elevation. So for me, I prefer cooler temps, but every day it's about roughly 20 degrees for the high. It's about 10 degrees in the middle of the night. So
Hmm.
in the US, that'd be roughly 70 degrees every day in the afternoon, 45 or 50 degrees at night. Uh,
Okay.
Nobody here has air conditioning or heating. For me, it's kind of like, am I going to throw on tonight? Am I going to throw on one blanket or two?
Yeah. Wow. Not sure which country is the best fit for your move abroad? The Ideal Destination Finder takes the guesswork out of the process. It's a customized 22-question assessment that reveals your top 3 destinations based on your lifestyle, priorities, and budget. Instead of spending months researching and second-guessing, you'll get a clear, personalized shortlist to guide your next step abroad. And it could save you thousands by avoiding the wrong move. You can get started now at adventurefreaksss.com. Just scroll down a little bit and you'll see the ideal destination finder on the left. Just click it and start the assessment. I also put the link in the description, or you can click the QR code above. Now let's get back to the video. So
And
it's like, so there's no electric bill, really. You don't have much of an,
my electric bill is tiny.
I imagine.
It was somewhere $25.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so Quetzaltenango is better known for it. They call it Xela,
Shayla.
Xela. And
Yep.
that's where you reside now.
Yep.
So let's go back a little bit because I'm curious. When you were living in, so you spent a year in Nicaragua. Just out of curiosity, where did you stay? Did you rent a place down there?
We did.
And what did the rentals go for down there?
They were a little bit less expensive. Now we uh wanted to be close to the central area. I walk all the time. I try to get in maybe 5 miles a day.
Okay.
So I like being close to everything. Yeah, there we were very close to the Central Park area. I can't even remember off the top of my head what the name of it was, but the big Central Park in Matagalpa. And I think we were paying around 350 a month.
Okay.
It was a really nice place. The location was what the cost was basically. You could, be out a little bit and have the same house for a much lower price. But
Yeah,
yeah,
if you're a little further out, but you were in the center, so you were paying the big bucks of $350 per month.
yeah, yeah, that's
How
true.
big was it? How big was the place?
What did we have there? We had a 3 bedroom, 2 bath. Um, yeah, on my channel you can see, it'll show you in details, but it was very nice.
What's the name of the video on tell everybody then your YouTube channel.
The YouTube channel is There Has to Be Something More, and
Right.
More, my last name, Moore.
Okay. Yeah, we'll put that in the link. And then what's the name? Do you know the name of that video that they can go look at that 3 bedroom, 2 bath place?
There's a few of them.
Few of them in Nicaragua. Okay.
Yeah, I'll show you around the neighborhood, around the house.
Okay. So that's amazing that you're living in Nicaragua in the city center and you're paying $350 a month for a 3 bedroom, 2 bath. Fast forward, how did you choose in Guatemala? How did you land in Guatemala? Like there's so many great places in Central America. Panama's been the number one place for many expats and retirees. How did you choose Guatemala?
Well, after living most of my life in Florida, the one thing I did not want to do was move to a place where the temperatures were hot. And
Okay.
so when I looked at Panama, I looked everywhere. I mean, it was my obsession before retirement, kind of figuring out what places I might like. So Boquete and
Yes.
places around there were on my list, but some of those places seemed a little bit small. Seemed like there was, you know, large expat populations, which I kind of like hanging around with the locals. I mean, I don't have a problem with
Sure.
expats.
Sure. Yeah.
So, and really, even looking at Guatemala, the only two places I really found much information was Antigua and Lake Atitlan.
Yeah.
So, but I stumbled on a couple of videos about Quetzaltenango, and I kept thinking, why is there not more information? There's got to be something wrong with this place. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's safety but then I started looking at websites like numbio.com. You can go on there and
Yeah.
check out, compare safety, city to city, country to
Right.
country. And it kept saying, well, yeah, it's relatively safe, considering it's in Central America.
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, very a safe place and nice temps. I'm like, well, we're gonna have to go check it out.
Okay.
And so yeah, so we ended up here, and I've loved it. The plan was not to stay, but I don't see. I very seriously doubt I'll ever leave, unless I'm
Wow.
asked. to.
Okay, so that's all right. So you were in Nicaragua, and then you said, I want something cooler, and you found this place that kind of has Quetzaltenango, Xela, Quetzaltenango. That it has an eternal spring-like weather, very similar to what Boquete has in Panama.
Very
That's
similar.
what it's famous for in Panama, and a lot of people, like you said, move there. The only issue with Boquete is that prices have skyrocketed because there's so many expats that live there.
Sure.
So it's you're going to pay for a one bedroom apartment probably seven, eight, $900 a month for a one bedroom apartment, and there's not a lot of real estate around to find, so it's a little bit challenging. So you're here in Xela, Quetzaltenango. The weather's perfect. What can you find rentals for there?
Well, I'll give you the last two. We've been in three places. We grabbed one place when we first got here. We kind of decided that we wanted to try there's a really upscale area that's outside of town because if you're living downtown, you have to get used to the noise. And at this point, I'm used to it. Just
Yeah.
being, you can hear cars and things like that. But we thought we'd try moving out. There's a great area called Shayla Gardens, and it's about 15 minutes outside of town, and it's beautiful. I mean, we had what was it there? Four bedroom, three bath, all the houses are almost brand new. Um, very like our neighbors were doctors, lawyers, very upscale, had two clubhouses with swimming pools and um so you can check out all those, but really, really nice. But one thing I did not want in retirement was a car. I don't want to buy one. I don't want to have to get it repaired and get gringo prices for getting car repairs and pay for insurance and gas. And here it's like when I want to ride, I call Uber or InDrive. And
Hmm.
it's way cheaper, way easier. I don't have to pay for parking. Um, and it's my cost for transportation is really, really close to zero.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So, but
Um,
yeah, beautiful. We were paying about $500 a month out there.
and that was
Uh,
for a four bedroom, three bath with
yeah,
a
and we were,
pool and all the amenities.
yeah,
Did they have a gym or a workout place?
they when we left, they were working on the third clubhouse, which was sitting up in the mountains. I mean, it was really like they're putting in an Olympic-sized pool, and
Yeah.
they are going to have a gym, but they weren't moving very quickly on that clubhouse. It was
Okay.
maybe a quarter of the way done.
Okay. But to live large there, you could, I mean, for 500 bucks a month, you can get a lot. It sounds like.
Yeah, I would just if I was going to live there, I'd want a car.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it took me 30 minutes to walk to the entrance. And then I'd catch a regular, like a chicken bus, a school bus
Yeah.
to get to town, and then a micro bus to get to the area where I wanted to go, and
Yeah.
then walk another 15 minutes to my gym. So going to the gym was like a 4 hour round trip.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You definitely need a car when you live in places like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of removed from a lot of the places. Okay, so now you're in the city. Now, the last time you and I did a podcast, you were living with this place that had this brilliant little terrace up top that had a view, and that was like I think a two bedroom or three bedroom apartment.
One that was three bedroom, one bath. Yeah, it had a great view.
Yeah, you had an incredible view.
Well, here I've got two patios. Now, the place I'm in now is two bedroom, two bath. The location is perfect. I mean, it's right in, I'm 4 blocks from Central Park, but it's older, it's smaller. I've got a small patio downstairs, a large patio upstairs that kind of overlooks, the whole street and overlooks, the neighbors.
Yeah,
I've got that all decked out with lights, white Christmas lights
yeah.
around, so a place to hang out at night. And I'm paying about 375 here.
Okay, so your rent is 375 for a two bedroom, two bath.
Yeah, and it's upstairs, downstairs, like down here. It's I've got a living room, dining room, table, kitchen, then the two bedrooms upstairs.
Okay. So now, do any of these rentals include utilities at all, or is that separate?
They don't, but they're well, some might, but the ones that I've been in, like here, I have to pay lights, electric, and garbage. I just paid that. That was about 225 quetzales. So that's for both lights and garbage. It's usually 25, $30 for the month.
Okay. Is that does that include water as well, or?
I don't pay for any water. We're
Okay.
on city water.
Wow. All right. So the last place that you had from our last previous podcast, you said it was three bedrooms or whatever. It had a terrace up top with that beautiful view. What were you paying for there per month? Do you remember?
That was almost exactly the same prices here. I think I was at maybe a couple hundred quetzales lower, so it might have been 360, 350, somewhere around there, 300 to 350.
Okay. So why did you leave that place?
We were interested in maybe the houses out in Xela Gardens were so beautiful. We
Okay.
had we also had two really, really old dogs that we brought with us from the US. They were both 17 years old,
Oh,
and they were having a really hard time getting up and down the stairs in that house.
yeah. Okay.
Uh, we also couldn't walk them because as soon as we got out of there, they were around street dogs.
Yeah.
So in Shayla Gardens, everything's gated. We could walk them all around the place, and they both passed away, but now
Okay.
about three new ones.
Oh, wow. So you adopted three more.
Yeah, I walking to the gym one day, stumbled across this this little female pit bull that has like yellow eyes like a cat, and she came running right up to me, looked like a skeleton.
Yeah.
And so I took her in, and then we had some neighbors in Shayla Gardens that their dog accidentally got pregnant. The father doesn't like dogs, and the father says, "I'm going to toss these dogs out on the street unless mom and the girls can find a home for them." So now I've got two little ones and a female pit bull.
Okay. Wow, that's great, Scott. Yeah, that's awesome. I love the pets too. That would be the hardest thing because if I just visited down there, I'd start like befriending all of these animals and you can't leave then. You're done.
Yeah, you're done.
They're like kids, man. You love them and you take care of them and it's beautiful. All right, so that doesn't sound like the rents have really increased in Jayla much since you're
No,
you're bouncing around a bit and it seems like, you could still find stuff for 350, 375 pretty easily.
yeah, I keep seeing, or I did see a lot where, historically inflation here runs about 4% a year. Uh,
Hmm.
I really haven't seen any increases in anything. Now,
Yeah.
I've been here a little over 2 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see prices going up. And there's very few tourists here and there's very few expats.
Okay.
There is an expat group and there's some really great people on there, very helpful. But it's a small group. There's just not a lot of, I don't see a lot of expats here.
Yeah. Well, I think most stick around Guatemala City and Antigua, right?
Yeah, Antigua and then Lake Atitlan.
Yeah. So, and Antigua is just a gorgeous city. It's absolutely beautiful, but it's quite a bit more expensive, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know
More
what the
expensive.
difference in rentals would be for like a 1, 2 bedroom?
I don't.
No.
It's and there are people that love Antigua, but there's a lot of tourists, a lot of expats, more expensive,
Yeah.
and it's smaller. I mean, they don't have, as far as I know, they don't have like the big malls and Walmart. So if you want those kind of conveniences, you won't find them there.
Yeah. Okay.
Lots of cool places.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's touch on the visa requirements for the viewers watching. You got to qualify to live, obtain residency. What did you do? And do you have like a temporary residency permit or permanent residency? Is there a retirement visa?
So far, the only thing that we've done is we've stayed here as tourists and we leave every 6 months.
Okay.
Um, and so far, everybody's been really nice. We are starting to work on residency, get the paperwork going. The really the two big things for the residency. And I've got a list, but they want to see an FBI police report. They're going to want to see my Social Security, how much I get from Social Security every month.
Hmm.
And those things have to be uh, signed and apostilled.
Right. Yep.
There's a lot of things, but those are kind of the two big ones. They just want to make sure they're not having violent criminals come in or people that can't support themselves. So
Yeah. Do you know what that income requirement is for us to
I
let you?
haven't checked it in in a couple of years. I think it's like somewhere around 1100 or 1200 a month, and
Okay.
then dependent. I think an extra dependent is 250.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right. 250 for a dependent.
And
Okay.
and here, so as soon as you get into Guatemala, you get 90 days. At that point, you can do an extension, which a lawyer can do for you. It costs us about $100 each.
Okay.
So $100, then you get another 3 month. At that point, you have to leave the country. So
And how long do you have to leave the country for? A day?
um, they say up to 3 days.
Okay.
Now here, a lot of people go up and cross the border into Mexico. Um, some people, come back in a couple hours later, a few hours later. Other people will, some people go up and spend a couple days. You can also go to places like San Cristobal de las Casas. They
Hmm.
have buses that'll take you up. You cross the Mexican border. I have not been to San Cristobal, but that was another city that was on my list of possible places to retire. So, a really cool little city in Mexico. So, some
Hmm.
people go up there and spend like a week, make it a vacation, and then come back home.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
you fly home to the US or Canada, wherever you're from, and take a little break.
Well, the income requirement in Mexico has gone through the roof. I don't know if you are
Yeah.
familiar with that. So it's really, really hard to move there now. They priced a lot of people out. So, okay. So then you're looking at about 11, $1,200 that you got to prove of an income requirement, about 1,500 for both you and your wife. You make that. So why haven't you guys just applied for the residency? Why are you doing every 6 month thing? You've been down there now for what, 2, 3 years?
I've been here for 2 years now. Lydia's been in the US because we've had our 11th grandchild was born, our first great grandchild. So she's been like visiting the girls, hanging out with the babies.
Hmm.
But so yeah, so she's gonna, as soon as she comes back in again, she's gonna have 6 more months where she can stay here.
Hmm.
Uh, Before she was in the US, it was just a matter of being lazy. And, because like even with the police report, I'm told you have to go to Guatemala City to get fingerprinted. For some reason, they can't do it here. Then you have to send the prints over, and one place has to sign it, and then you have to get them back and then send them to a different place where they have to do the apostille.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a paperwork nightmare. And then you have
Right.
to same thing with Social Security and a lot of the other stuff. So it's just been a matter of not getting it done.
Yeah.
It's we have some friends that are expats here, a couple, and they said that they had been visiting Xela for a long, long time. They did all that kind of stuff when they were back in the States, and it was
Sure.
easy. Trying to do it from here is a little challenging.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, yeah, you're down there and you found a system that works for you guys where you can stay 6 months at a time. It's nice to get out every 2 or 3, 4 days, even a week, 2 weeks, go see something new and then come back. It's simple. And
Yeah,
then when you got to dive into the residency and all this paperwork and loop, all that stuff, it's just, yeah, it can be a little bit challenging for sure.
but I do sometimes think, I do want to get this done before something like Mexico happens, where all of a sudden they start changing the requirements and those are like super high.
Yeah.
I
Well,
do want to get it done eventually.
that's the thing. I haven't seen any other country do what Mexico's done. So it's pretty much stayed the same. And the main key countries that people move to in Central America and South America, it's pretty much stayed the same. Nothing's really changed. Mexico, for some reason, last I checked, it's based on consulate, but you got to show for an individual a minimum of like $5,200 per month. That's USD. So that prices out a tremendous amount of retirees that had always considered retiring and they're in Mexico, and there used to be some loopholes where you could stay beyond a certain period of time and then just apply. But they shut that down too. So now people aren't moving to Mexico, and they're going a little bit further south. Um, okay, so all right, so now you guys are always getting like two bedrooms, three bedrooms, even a four bedroom. Do they have one bedroom apartments, and are they even less? I mean, is it
Uh,
possible in that you can get a place, a nice place for 100, 150, 200 bucks?
they do. And I actually met a subscriber a couple of weeks ago, and they were in one place and moving to another. And both places, because she told me that she, like, maximum wanted to spend 1,800 quetzales, and I'll try to do the math real quick. 1,000 quetzales is like 130 bucks.
Okay.
So she was like a couple $100s a month was what she was looking at.
Yeah.
Now she had lived in one place and was moving to another. So yeah, and those were one bedrooms.
Okay. So she was finding some decent places for 200 bucks.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's amazing to me. That is just absolutely amazing that and it's a good sized city with a lot to do. Let's talk about what is there to do there. I mean, what is there's do culturally, what do they have to offer for people who are maybe interested in the arts? Or do they have a movie theater? Do they have any kind of performance art that goes on there?
All of that.
They do.
They have big movie theaters in the mall. Cineplex, I think is the name of it. Um, the theater of performing arts is 2 blocks from my house.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, I pass it all the time. Big, beautiful place. And yeah, let's see what else.
Have you been to
Most
any of the plays there? Have you seen any of the performances?
have not, but there's
Oh,
always lines and big crowds out there.
okay.
So
Wow.
yeah, there's museums here. There's you get pretty much everything.
Yeah. Do you know how much it costs to go to the museum? Or are they free? Some museums are
Uh,
free.
one of the museums here is free.
Okay. All right. And then does Xela have like a cafe culture where people sit out on the sidewalks and you can just watch people watch, and there's squares where people are in markets?
Yeah, most of the people, everything here revolves around Central Park,
Okay.
Parque Central. And you walk over there, again, that's 4 blocks from my house. It's just loaded with families, little kids running around eating ice cream. I mean, it's like 1950s US. It's
Okay.
just like happy families running
Yeah.
around. Yeah, it's very cool. There's a lot of the coffee here is excellent in Guatemala. So there's a lot of coffee shops,
Hmm.
really good coffee. There's a lot of great places here. Probably the two things that when I speak to extranjeros, from people from other countries that are here, usually they're either going to Spanish school because there's a lot of excellent Spanish schools here, or they're going hiking.
Okay.
Uh, we're 2,700 meters in elevation, so we're about at around 8,000 feet. So
Okay.
beautiful mountains all over the place.
Hmm. Okay. So the hiking has to be extraordinary there.
Yeah, and I would say just check with people before you go on a certain hike, because there's some that are fairly easy. There's others that they kind of let you know this is advanced. Like if you're not in really good shape, you probably don't want to try this one.
Yeah. I remember I hiked the up the volcano when I was in Antigua, Guatemala. And there were a lot of people saying, "Be careful. You need to make sure because there's always these guys out there that will, thieves that'll rob you." And there were some people like that out there that actually it robbed a few people that were there, not with my group or anything. But is that a concern in Xela? Do you hear about
There
stuff like
is.
that where people hide out in the mountains and they're waiting for hikers to come by so they can take their cell phones and
Yeah, there's a famous place here called El Baúl, and if I go outside, I can see it right from my street, and it's beautiful. You go up there, and again, lots of families up there, eating ice cream. They have these big cement slides where you can slide down the mountain. But yeah, we were told, you don't want to go at an off time.
okay.
Want to go when there's people up there. You don't want to end up there by yourself, like with just one or two people.
Okay.
I have a lot of friends that say for exercise, they walk or run up to El Baúl. So I don't know. The locals don't seem phased by it, but
Hmm.
others say, go with a group or when there's lots of people up there.
Yeah. Okay. That's good information. It's always good to be safe. As far as like now, you've been there for a couple years. Have you guys considered purchasing anything? And for the viewers that would say, "Hey, I love this. What Scott's sharing with us, the perfect weather. I don't like super heat. It's like perfect year round, 70 degrees daily, and then it drops down at night, nice and cool for sleep." What is real estate going for? What can you buy something there for?
Real estate here is not super cheap. I mean, there's other places where you can go that's cheaper. We had now this was back in the 90s, a very bad experience in Costa Rica where we thought we had purchased a house and had not. So I don't know. It's still a little intimidating for us to buy someplace out of the US.
Okay.
You can also occasionally see a sign like on houses when I'm walking around downtown that'll say something like, if somebody's trying to sell you this piece of property, just know that it's not theirs. So yeah, I would say if you're going to buy, and I know some people have, but if you're going to buy, I would say, you just want to double check everything, make sure you've got not only a really good lawyer, but a really good real estate lawyer.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't know. Since I have not seen the prices go up on rentals, it's a little difficult for me to say I'm going to go ahead and buy a place. It's
Sure.
just so easy to rent. If
Yeah.
anything happens, you can always move to a different city, a different country.
Yeah. True.
I
That's
would think
true.
it'd be hard if you got a place. I would think it'd be challenging to sell it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's no like realtor.com here.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. And that's the one of the things that I always tell people. If you're going to buy, make sure you're working with somebody very savvy that knows if that area of real estate can resell. Because if you want to get out, sometimes you just can't. If you buy
Yeah.
in the wrong area, you get stuck.
Well, and I thought about that too. I mean, I'm going to turn 64 this summer, and I thought, well, how challenging would it be for if something happened for my kids to have to come down here and sell it?
Yeah.
I think it'd be really challenging.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So, all right. So real estate, you really haven't considered. You're not sure what the prices are going for down there?
No, I don't think they're really, really cheap, but I think you can get good prices around here. It again just depends. Are you going to be close to Central Park? I can tell you, like out in Shayla Gardens, that place where we live with the really, really new, nice houses, and
Yeah.
there's probably 2,000 houses out there. I mean, it's
Okay.
huge.
Yeah.
They were going for 130 grand, and that was for those 3 or 4 bedroom, 3 or 4 bath house, 2-story houses.
Okay.
And we were told 5 years before that they were selling for 70.
Okay. So they almost doubled. But I'm guessing then somewhere where you're at, you could probably do they sell apartments and I mean do apartments I'm guessing if they do sell apartments, they're probably not more than 50,000,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
I
There's anything here. You can get apartments, you can buy houses.
Okay.
And
Well, you made a comment about your Costa Rica purchase and something happened. So tell us about what happened because that's really important information for anybody that's considering buying real estate anywhere outside of their country of origin.
Well, I'll start off by saying I was young and dumb. Uh, yeah, this is a long, long time ago. But yeah, we decided we were walking around one day and we were about 15 or 20 minutes outside of San Jose in this beautiful little street, and all the houses were fixed up and painted, and there was one house that was in disrepair. And so we started talking to the neighbors, and we thought, well, if we could pick up this house for cheap, it needs a lot of work, but we can paint it and fix it up. And I had my wife's brother and brother-in-law, when we thought we had purchased it, they're there. We're putting in big cinder block walls. I'm buying jacuzzi bathtubs. We're building like a big chimney in the big bedroom area so we can have a fireplace. But yeah, so we unfortunately used an attorney who was a very nice attorney, but she was a corporate attorney for Vespa, the scooter, and was not a real estate attorney. The money, the deposits all ended up going in a fraudulent bank account of a fake lawyer. Uh, so it was like 6 o'clock in the morning, maybe 3 or 4 weeks after we thought we had purchased this house. And we get a knock on the door, and there's 7 or 8 police outside. And they said, oh, you need to get out of this house. And I said, well, it's my house. And they said, no, it's not. And you need to
Wow.
get, and they gave us 3 hours to get all of our
Wow.
stuff and get out of the house. And, we're there with our 4 little girls, and it was a disaster. So we're just
Wow.
renting a truck and throwing as much stuff as we can into the truck before they evict us out of there.
Yeah.
So that's why we kind of shy away from purchasing. It was just it could be
Well,
done.
well, what's the best way to avoid that from happening for people that, travel through Central America, South America, considering purchasing real estate? What do you need to do to prevent yourself from that happening?
Yeah, I would say one, you have to get a really, really good real estate attorney, and somehow you have to check the title,
Yeah.
because you could easily be buying some property that doesn't belong to the person you're buying it from.
Yeah. Yeah. Years ago, it was in the 90s. I used to go down to Venezuela quite a bit. And then I started looking for real estate in Venezuela. And I had a real estate agent who was going around looking at properties, and I was just blown away of how beautiful some of the properties were, how affordable they were. But somebody did tip me off early, and they said there's a lot of scam going on where they sell you a property, but you got to make sure that you have a lawyer that knows how to dig to make sure that the deed is clear and free, because a lot of times, often it isn't. And they're
Yeah.
selling these fraudulently to especially people that come to purchase property from overseas because they don't know any better. Then they jump, they pay a bunch of money, and they didn't do the research, and somebody else owns the property, and then you're screwed.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
imagine if it's 100 grand or 150 grand and you're just paying cash for the place.
yes.
That could hurt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So it's really good to make sure that you have a savvy real estate lawyer. I learned that a long time ago. That was the 90s when I was looking in Venezuela. So, all right. Well, let's go through some of these costs a little bit here. So, okay, you said for utilities, you pay about $25-30 a month. How about
Mhm.
selling Wi-Fi?
My cell bill is about $20 a month.
Okay.
All I do is I get data for it every week.
Okay.
And I don't have a plan. I just go by the data, which is 35 quetzales. It's a little over $4 a week. And I
Okay.
know exactly when my data is going to run out. Otherwise, here in the house, there's Wi-Fi. I do make sure that I have data all the time, because one every once in a while we do have power that goes out here, and
Okay.
sometimes it's designed like there's one Sunday every month or two where they tell you, there's not going to be any power all day.
Hmm.
So you lose Wi-Fi. So
Hmm.
like on my phone, I can use the hotspot if the Wi-Fi does go out.
No, okay. Yeah. What does your Wi-Fi cost?
Th That's the only thing that's really expensive, and that's my fault. I need to look into it, getting a different plan. Right now, I've got really fast Wi-Fi, uh, but it runs about $65 a month, and
Oh,
that's for
wow.
Wi-Fi. I mean, that's for cable, high-speed internet, phone, which I don't use or don't have.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, that's for like a really nice package from a company called Tigo. And there's another one called Claro here. Those are the two big ones.
Okay. And restaurants, going out some of these cafes, sitting on getting a nice little Guatemalan meal. What does that consist of and what does it cost?
Um, you can go really basic for like $3 for a lunch, and it's a nice lunch. And up.
Okay. All right. And what does a beer cost there?
At the grocery store, it's going to cost you about $1.
Okay.
But the other places they're always, they've got different specials. They've got liters of beer and pitchers of beer and
Hmm.
but not it's not you can a bottle of wine here might at the grocery store might cost you $4,
Okay.
um $4 or $5. So
Yeah.
yeah, I had a question from one subscriber. You wanted to know, I need cheap tequila. How much is that cheap tequila? There's bottles like $7 or $8 a bottle for cheap tequila.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good info. So for the $3 lunch or a $3 meal, what do you get for a $3 meal? What's served?
Yeah, usually like they're going to give you, it looks like a basic meal. It's going to be like some kind of meat, chicken, fish, and then some rice and some veggies, maybe a little salad along with it, or some bread and a drink.
Okay. Wow. All that for $3.
Yeah, now there's not a lot of those. Most of the places where I would go, they're going to be $5 or $6 for lunch.
Okay.
And they, they have there's not I wouldn't say there's a lot of variety. Like if you want like a lot of variety, like international cuisine, Antigua, places like that are going to be better. But here,
Yeah.
they do have Chinese food and pizza and all that kind of stuff. All the
Yeah.
fast foods are here.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Okay, and how much do you think you budget per month on groceries? Going out and buying
I
groceries.
think I'm around $300 a month.
Okay.
I like on my cost of living, I put $300 a month for groceries and about 100 for restaurants. I think that's a little high on both of those. Now, I'm vegan, and I would say probably the priciest part of going grocery shopping would be meat, chicken, fish.
Yeah.
Uh, I cook chicken for my dogs. They eat chicken and rice most days. Uh,
Oh.
so I can tell you, like, when I go to the store, I buy like a big bag of frozen leg quarters for them and
Hmm.
bring home.
Hmm.
That's like 90 cents a pound,
Okay. Yep.
chicken leg quarters. So not really, really pricey, but yeah, you can get, good meats here.
Okay. So and is that for both you and your wife, or is that just you?
That'd be just me.
Just you.
Yeah.
So for both of you, what is it, about 400 a month?
Yeah, it's not, Lydia doesn't eat very much.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say 400 a month.
Okay. All right. And then we covered the entertainment. What do you do for fun, Scott? Do you get out much? Do you go out at all or?
Well, not much at night.
Yeah.
I go out every once in a while. If I do go out at night, it's just kind of a walk around the park or something like that. During the day, my fun things, I walk and I walk my dogs. I try to get in about 5 miles a day, and I go to the gym 4 days a week.
Okay.
Uh, but yeah, besides that, it's just, hanging out, washing clothes and, the daily chores.
Hmm.
Usually by Usually by dinner time, I'm like at home. I get up fairly early, so I'm kind of out walking around, getting my exercise in. By 6 or 7 o'clock at night, I'm ready to kind of just hang out at home.
Chill out. How's your Spanish coming along?
Well, so since Lydia and I have been together for a long time, I've always been able to speak at least basic Spanish.
Okay.
I think over the last year I've improved a bit. I don't take classes or go to school, but almost nobody here speaks English.
Gotcha. So
So
you're always practicing.
always practicing, which is good. I
Yeah.
mean, it at first, even even though I spoke basic Spanish, you do have to get used to a little bit of the different, like the Spanish between Nicaragua and here, to me is really different.
Yeah.
I guess to a native Spanish speaker wouldn't be a big deal, but to me, even the sound and the speed is a lot different.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. For us, the speed it can throw you off.
Yeah, Nicaragua is like super fast.
Yeah. Yeah. Venezuela is too. And okay. Good information. And then you said that you don't have a vehicle, so you use a couple of rideshare or taxis to get around town and
Yeah,
and buses as well. You use the bus system?
I do. So transportation is super easy. I used to always use Uber. Now I use something, this last year, I've used something called InDrive.
Okay.
And it's very similar, except with InDrive, like with Uber, you put in, here's where I am, here's where I'm going. They tell you the price and how long it's going to be till the guy shows up. With InDrive, they give you a suggested price and you can put in whatever price you want. The price goes out to the drivers and they can pick it or not. So you can kind of sit there and keep bumping it up a little bit. It's
I
cheap.
see. Oh, that's
Uh,
really cool. That's an app on your phone called InDrive.
yeah.
Okay. Is that
And
only exclusive to Guatemala?
I don't
Guatemala
think
or
so.
no? Okay. Yeah, that's the
Most of the
first.
drivers here, they're driving for both. Like they're doing
Yeah.
Uber and Drive.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
So, and I also have the phone numbers. Like when I find a driver that I really like and he's fun to talk to, and I'll grab their number and their name, and I can call them all the time.
Yeah.
Also,
Sure. So
um,
how much do you think that you'd need to budget a month to get around Xela?
uh, hardly anything. Well, it depends where you live. Now, if you live way out in Shayla Gardens, again, you're probably
Yeah,
going to
you're
want a
gonna.
car. But like if you live anywhere like in I don't know, the downtown area, not out in the suburbs, it's super cheap. I mean, especially if you like to walk a little bit.
Yeah.
But the two options are the big school buses or the chicken buses,
Yeah.
which are super cheap. And you can go, those are for like a little farther distances to go like out to the malls or Walmart, places like that. I walk 1 block, I jump on a microbus, which fits like a dozen people.
Yeah.
That's 2.5 quetzales, so 35 cents.
Okay.
And that gets me out to the mall, 35 cents on the way back. So yeah,
So,
it's
wow.
ridiculously cheap.
Yeah. So I mean, like, if you think about it, all in that you're paying 375 for rent, then everything else, how much do you think you spend a month? Because it sounds like you're under 1,000.
Well, I would say under 1,000, but then like I exclude, like usually if I'm doing a cost of living video, I'll exclude things that a lot of people may not have. So I don't put in there like things for my dogs, dog food
Sure.
for the dogs, vet
Right.
bill, medicine for them, medicines. Like I take a blood thinner, so I didn't include that.
Hmm.
So if somebody has questions about a certain type of medicine that they want to check on, I'll try to check and see if I can find a price.
Okay.
But like I don't put that in there. But yeah, I would say 900 without all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
But yeah,
that's actually leading us into the next thing. The last thing is healthcare. What do you do for healthcare there? You said you have a blood thinner, and you obviously you get that in Guatemala? Do you go to the pharmacy and get it there? And is it cheaper there than it is in the US?
it's well, it depends if you have insurance or not in the US. It's way cheaper here. Like you can get for blood thinners Xarelto, or I'm on one called Lisania, I think it's called. I get it from my doctor. It is, let's see, about $50 a month.
Okay.
There are other ones like Warfarin and Coumadin that are really cheap.
Yeah.
But you have to get blood tests and things like that. But yeah, I get it from my doctor. Um, It's inexpensive. Usually an office visit is 400 quetzales if I want to go like get a checkup like with my doctor. So that would be about $50.
Okay.
Go get a checkup.
Are you
And
paying out of pocket, Scott?
I am
Okay, so you don't have any insurance.
no insurance at all. And my doctor was my neighbor in Shayla Gardens. He was
Okay.
my next door neighbor. So, great guy. And yeah, so anytime I need like a blood workup or anything, he, sends me to the lab and gets that checked up. But yeah, it's very inexpensive. Now, if you have some major surgery, Guatemala is not like Thailand or someplace like that where an
Right.
operation is really, really cheap. Um, I know I have some friends here that have like different plans. They go to like there's a really good hospital called La Paz, and they have a plan here where they pay monthly and they get all kinds of checkups and things like that. But it doesn't cover the catastrophic things like if you have cancer, you need
Hmm.
heart surgery. Um, I think long term, what I'm going to do is one, try to stay as healthy as I possibly can, and also since I'm going to be 64 this summer, I've only got a little over a year till I'm on Medicare.
Okay.
So that way I can always get home. If assuming I have time, I can get home for something big.
Hmm.
But here, if there's like catastrophic insurance for big things, I can't find it.
I see. So you're going to rely on Medicare. You're going
Medicare,
to pay into that.
yes.
What do you think you'll have to pay per month into that just to keep it in the US?
Well, it depends because there's like advantage plans where they'll actually pay your, what is it, Part B that you still have to pay a little. I think that's like a couple $100 a month.
Yeah.
But now, if you get uh, the normal Medicare, I think it's going to cost you a couple $100 a month. Like my dad was paying, he had really, really good insurance, but I think between Medicare and the extra plan that he had to cover that last 20%, he was at about $400 a month.
Yeah. Okay.
You can do it an inexpensive way and go Advantage plan and end up paying nothing. At
Yeah.
least
Yeah.
right now you can.
Okay. So you're doing the out of pocket. You haven't seen anything that kind of sounds like a decent plan that would cover any kind of catastrophic issues in Guatemala.
No. And when I was in Nicaragua, it was kind of the same deal. A lot of the expats, if they had something major, they were flying to Colombia for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Uh, Inexpensive surgeries, I guess, but really good
Yeah.
hospitals.
Yeah. Colombia is known for very good health care, high quality health care. And a lot of the doctors trained in the US. So they have like a medical tourism kind of thing going on there too. But a lot of people go to Mexico too.
Well, and I've asked Guatemalans here, like, because they have the public health care, which is free, and then the private health care, which costs money. And I asked them, like, so what do you do? Like, if you need heart surgery or you have cancer, it's like, well, I'm going to the general hospital.
Yeah.
And now, from what I understand, that would be free. It would take a while to get in. Not the finest healthcare in the world, but you can get things done. From what I understand, you would have to pay for medicine.
Okay. Interesting. So
But
I mean,
again,
are you covered by the public health care there?
yes.
So
Hmm.
anybody can go in and use the public system.
Yeah. And I've never been in. I've luckily always been healthy, but
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's everything, Scott. That this has been terrific as always. I mean, is there anything else you can think of we didn't cover about Quetzaltenango or Xela that could be helpful to the viewers considering moving to Guatemala?
I would just say it's to me it's been an easy place to move to. The people are really friendly. Um, it is a little bit, I don't know if it's like that they're a bit timid, but like normally I have to speak first, like if I'm, walking down the street. But if I say anything, buenos dias, buenas tardes, good morning, how are you? I always get a big smile. Hey, how are you? I'm doing great. Have a good day. Uh,
Yeah.
Friendly people, but you probably need to speak first.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's like they're a little bit timid. But perfect weather. A lot of the ladies here wear the traditional clothing, which I
Yes.
think is super cool.
Yeah.
Uh,
Beautiful.
they celebrate everything like Easter and Christmas. It's not like a 1 or 2 day celebration. It's like a 2 or 3 week celebration.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, they really celebrate life here.
Yeah.
And it's pretty easy to get back and forth to the capital. You can get on, there's really nice buses called Xela bus. So I think it's $20 and it's a 4 hour ride down the mountain to get to the capital. From there, like a 3 hour trip to Miami if you want to get back to the US. So easy place to get in and out of. There is an
Mhm.
airport here, but it's really, really tiny. And I think it's only for like private airplanes,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
small planes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, perfect weather, great friendly people, cost of living is low, quality of life is high. So
Yeah. The one thing I wanted to ask you, I forgot, how far away are you from the beach if you wanted to go to the beach?
um I am about 4 hours from Antigua, 2 hours from Lake Atitlan. To get to the Pacific, probably 4 hours,
4 hours. Okay. Okay. All right. And then how far are you from Guatemala City? That's where the big airport is.
about 4 hours. And
4
that's
hours.
taking Shayla bus.
Okay. So anytime you fly out, you got to take that trek back to Guatemala City and then fly out.
Yep.
Yeah. How much does it cost you to get there on the bus?
$20.
$20.
And
Okay.
that's a really, really nice, like a modern bus, not a
Yeah.
chicken.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. All right. Well, Scott Moore, thank you so much again for taking the time to share all this great information about um, Guatemala and Xela. I truly appreciate it.
My pleasure. Always great to see you, Ray, and I love your videos.
All
Keep
right,
them coming.
buddy. Yeah, and what's the name of your podcast again? Share one more time.
Sure, it's There Has to Be Something More, Moore.
Check out Scott's videos on YouTube, and he covers a lot of this information that we discussed as well. All right, thanks, Scott. Talk to you soon, bud.
My pleasure. See you soon.